Right now, your brain is being quietly hijacked, not by a drug, not by a disease, by the same chemical that's supposed to make you successful, driven, and alive. And the worst part? The entire modern economy was engineered to exploit it. Every notification, every scroll, every sale, every limited time offer, they all run on the same fuel. And if you don't understand how this works, you'll spend the rest of your life working hard, feeling empty, and wondering why nothing is ever enough. Here's something nobody in your high school, your college, or your first job ever told you. The thing standing between you and financial freedom is not your income. It's not the economy. It's not inflation, interest rates, or the fact that rent in this country has doubled in a decade. Those things are real, but there's something deeper, something running underneath all of it. The average American spends roughly $18,000 a year on things they didn't plan to buy. Not rent, not groceries, not the electric bill, impulse purchases, subscriptions they forgot about, upgrades they didn't need, experiences that felt urgent in the moment and meaningless 3 days later. That's not a budgeting failure. That's brain chemistry. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. The same mechanism that's supposed to push you toward goals, toward building wealth, toward creating something meaningful with your life, that same mechanism is being weaponized against you every single hour of the day. The result is a generation of people who feel constantly stimulated but deeply unmotivated, busy but unproductive, connected but deeply alone, spending money to feel something and never quite feeling it. This is a dopamine trap, and most people will never escape it. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That's the first lie you've been told. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It fires before the reward, not during it. It's the sensation of almost having something. The rush before you open the package. The excitement before the date. The feeling right before you scratch the lottery ticket. Dopamine is your brain screaming, "Go get it." It is the engine of desire, not satisfaction. This matters more than almost anything you'll learn about money. Because here's what happens in a modern economy. Companies figured out that if they can keep you in a perpetual state of almost, they can keep you spending forever. Amazon's one-click checkout, the Instagram shop tab, the casino-style design of every financial app on your phone. None of this is accidental. It was designed by some of the smartest behavioral psychologists in the world with one singular goal: keep the dopamine loop going. Buy the thing, brief satisfaction, then nothing, then restless emptiness, then the urge to buy again. Repeat. This is why a person making $80,000 a year can feel just as financially anxious as someone making $40,000. It's not always about income. It's about the loop. The more you feed the dopamine system with quick rewards, the higher your baseline tolerance rises. The things that used to feel good stop working. So you need more. You need faster. You need bigger. And the financial industry is right there, offering you a credit limit increase. Think about what social media has done to investing. Platforms like Reddit and TikTok turned the stock market into a dopamine slot machine. Meme stocks, crypto spikes, day trading penny stocks from your bathroom. Millions of ordinary Americans, many of them young, got addicted not to wealth, but to the feeling of chasing it. And when it crashed, and it always crashes, the loss wasn't just financial. It was neurological. The brain had been trained to need that volatility, that thrill, that almost. Warren Buffett sits in Omaha and buys boring companies and holds them for decades. He is, in the most clinical sense, dopamine resistant. And he is one of the wealthiest people in human history. That is not a coincidence. The system didn't come this way by accident. This was an architecture decision. In the 1990s, behavioral economists began working directly with marketing departments, tech companies, and financial institutions. The goal was simple: map the human reward system and design products that keep it engaged indefinitely. Variable reward schedules, the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive, were built into social feeds, shopping platforms, and even savings apps with gamified badges and streaks. The economy shifted from selling you things you needed to selling you the feeling of needing things. And it works. It works extraordinarily well because the dopamine system evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to help humans survive, find food, pursue a mate, avoid danger. It was never designed for an environment of infinite stimulation. It was never meant to handle 200 channels, same-day delivery, and a phone that rewards you a novelty every 11 seconds. The result is what neuroscientists call dopamine dysregulation. Your reward system becomes miscalibrated. Low stimulation activities, reading, saving money, building a business, exercising patience. These stop producing the chemical signal they're supposed to. They feel pointless, boring, not worth the effort. Meanwhile, high stimulation, low-value activities, scrolling, spending, gambling, binge-watching, these hijack the system completely. Your brain, quite literally, starts treating wealth-building behaviors the same way it treats boredom. So, what do you actually do with this? The answer is not to become a monk. It's not to delete every app, sell your phone, and move to the woods. The answer is recalibration. Strategic, intentional recalibration of your reward system. And there are specific ways to do this. The first is what researchers call a dopamine fast. Not total sensory deprivation, but a deliberate reduction in high-stimulation inputs for a defined period. No social media before noon. No impulse purchases for 72 hours. No financial news for a week. The goal is not punishment. It's reset. When you remove the flood of cheap stimulation, your brain gradually becomes more sensitive to real rewards again. The satisfaction of finishing something difficult comes back. The quiet satisfaction of watching your savings account grow starts to register. The second is delay architecture. The wealthy do not eliminate desire. They delay it systematically, intentionally. When you feel the urge to buy something, do not fight it. Write it down and wait 30 days. If you still want after 30 days, and if it fits your actual financial plan, then decide. You will be shocked by how many things you write down that you forget entirely within a week. That's the dopamine talking, not you. The third is what might be the most powerful shift of all. Redirect the dopamine toward building. The brain doesn't care what it's chasing. If you can make the process of building wealth feel like a pursuit, if you can gamify saving, investing, and skill building in a way that generates genuine anticipation, you will no longer need to fight your brain. You will have pointed it in a different direction. Track your net worth monthly. Watch compound interest tables. Set ambitious but specific financial targets. Follow the progress obsessively. Let the almost feeling, that dopamine-soaked anticipation, attach itself to something that actually builds over time instead of something that evaporates the moment you click purchase. The final shift is perhaps the hardest. It's accepting that real wealth, real financial freedom, is almost entirely a low-stimulation game. It is slow. It is boring. It requires sitting with discomfort for years while other people spend money. They don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't know. The path to financial independence is not exciting. It was never supposed to be. Excitement is what they sell you instead of freedom. There's a quote, though no one agrees on who said it first, that goes something like this. The definition of poverty is not having too little. It's wanting too much. That framing used to feel judgmental. Now it feels neurological. When your dopamine system is dysregulated, when every algorithm and advertiser and financial product is engineered to keep you in a state of perpetual wanting, having more almost never leads to feeling like enough. You can make six figures and feel broke. You can own everything you once said you wanted and still feel hollow, because the system wasn't built to satisfy you. It was built to keep you hungry. The most radical financial act you can take in this economy is to step outside the loop, to deliberately, stubbornly, refuse to let your brain chemistry be monetized, to choose the boring investment over the exciting gamble, the patient accumulation over the impulsive spend, the long game over the instant hit. Because here is the hard, quiet truth that nobody in the financial industry wants you to know. The people who end up free, genuinely permanently free, are not the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who learn to want less, build more, and wait longer than everyone else around them was willing to. That's not discipline. That's neuroscience. And now, you know exactly how it works.